In the world of business, we often focus intently on what we want to say. We carefully craft our words. We refine our key points. We rehearse our presentations. But, we frequently overlook a crucial element of our communication strategy. That element is the medium. The medium is the channel you choose to deliver your message. It could be a formal report, a quick instant message, an email, or a face-to-face meeting. This choice is not just a practical detail. It is a powerful signal in itself. The channel you select sends its own message, one that can dramatically alter how your words are received and understood. Think about the difference in receiving a message in various ways. Imagine your manager needs to give you urgent feedback on a project. If they send a hastily typed instant message, it might feel rushed and perhaps a little impersonal. If they schedule a private video call, it suggests the matter is important and requires a thoughtful conversation. Now consider if they sent a formal printed memorandum. This would signal extreme seriousness and a need for official documentation. The core content of the feedback might be identical in all three cases. Yet, the medium fundamentally changes the tone, the perceived urgency, and the nature of your interaction. This demonstrates a core principle we will explore. The medium is not a neutral container for your words. It actively shapes their meaning. Choosing a medium is a strategic act. It sets the stage for the entire communication exchange. It can build relationships or create distance. It can convey respect or imply indifference. It can create clarity or cause confusion. In today's complex business environment, with a vast array of communication tools at our disposal, making the right choice has never been more critical. Ignoring the medium is like ignoring your body language in a conversation. You are missing a huge part of what you are communicating. Therefore, as we begin this exploration into strategic communication, we must first shift our perspective. We must move beyond thinking only about the what of our message and start thinking strategically about the how. Every email, every phone call, and every team meeting is an opportunity to communicate more effectively. Understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each medium is the first step towards mastering this skill. This understanding allows you to align your channel with your intention. It empowers you to ensure that the medium you choose reinforces your message rather than accidentally undermining it. This is the foundation of becoming a truly skilled and strategic business communicator. Every communication has a purpose. You might need to inform your team about a new policy. You might need to persuade a client to accept a proposal. Or you might need to collaborate with colleagues to solve a complex problem. Before you utter a single word or type a single character, you face a critical decision. What is the best way to deliver this message to achieve your goal? This decision is the essence of strategic media selection. It is about consciously and deliberately choosing the communication channel that best fits your specific audience, your specific purpose, and the specific context of the situation. This is a far more sophisticated approach than simply defaulting to what is easiest or most familiar. The modern workplace presents a dizzying array of options. We have email for formal announcements and record keeping. We have instant messaging platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams for quick questions and rapid collaboration. We have video conferencing tools for connecting with remote teams. We also have the timeless power of a simple phone call for personal, direct conversation. And of course, there is the unmatched richness of face-to-face interaction, whether in a formal boardroom or a casual chat by the coffee machine. Each of these channels has a unique set of characteristics that makes it suitable for some tasks and completely inappropriate for others. Making the right choice requires careful thought. For instance, sending a complex project proposal that requires detailed review and feedback via an instant message would be a strategic error. The medium is too informal, too transient, and not designed for deep reflective consideration. The recipient would likely feel overwhelmed and annoyed. Conversely, Calling an all-hands face-to-face meeting just to announce a minor update to the office's holiday schedule would be an inefficient use of everyone's time. It uses a rich, high-investment medium for a simple, low-complexity message. A quick email or a post on the company intranet would have been far more appropriate and respectful of people's schedules. This chapter will provide you with a clear framework for making these choices with confidence and strategic intent. We will move beyond guesswork and habit. We will equip you with a systematic method for analyzing your communication needs. We will examine the crucial difference between communicating with colleagues inside your organization and engaging with stakeholders on the outside. The ultimate goal is to achieve what we call media message fit. This is the perfect alignment of your chosen medium with your audience, your purpose, and your message, ensuring that every communication you send lands with the greatest possible impact and clarity. The Canadian communication theorist Marshall McLuhan declared that the medium is the message. This was a revolutionary concept when he introduced it decades ago, and it has become even more relevant in our hyper-connected digital age. The channel you choose fundamentally alters the human experience of communication. It is more like a lens that colors, shapes, and focuses the content that passes through it. An email, for example, encourages a certain type of communication. It is structured, asynchronous, and creates a permanent record. This is a stark contrast to a phone call, which is immediate, personal, and transient. McLuhan suggested that each medium extends a part of ourselves. The telephone extends our voice across distance. The television extends our eyes and ears. In the modern workplace, a platform like Slack extends our ability to have a continuous, flowing team conversation. A sensitive message about a personal issue sent via a public team channel is a classic example of a mismatch. The content says, "This is sensitive," but the medium screams, "This is public." The medium, in this case, has completely overwhelmed and distorted the intended message. Internal communication is the nervous system and the circulatory system of any organization. It is the network of channels, processes, and messages that flow within the company's boundaries. Think of it as the lifeblood that carries vital information, strategic goals, and cultural values to every single part of the corporate body. Without a healthy flow of communication, different departments cannot coordinate their efforts. Employees become disconnected from the company's mission. This internal flow of information serves three critical functions that are deeply interconnected. The first is strategic alignment. The second function is operational coordination. The third, and perhaps most crucial function, is cultivating cultural cohesion. Therefore, selecting the right media for internal communication is not just a logistical choice, it is a strategic one. Does it rely solely on top-down formal emails? This might suggest a very hierarchical and rigid culture. Does it encourage the use of collaborative social platforms? This points to a more open, modern, and inclusive environment. As a manager, you are a key node in this circulatory system. The media you choose for your team directly impacts their alignment, their performance, and their sense of connection to the wider organization. Alongside the formal, structured network of communication, every organization has another system that is just as powerful, if not more so. This is the informal communication network, often known as the grapevine. It's the web of conversations that happen in the break room, the chats that occur over instant messenger, and the discussions that take place over lunch. However, the grapevine also carries significant risks that managers must be aware of. Rumors and gossip are the negative side of the grapevine. A wise manager does not try to stamp out the grapevine. That is an impossible task. Instead, they learn to listen to it and engage with it. This requires a delicate balancing act. An effective manager understands that both are essential and chooses their media to serve the distinct needs of each network with intention and care. A frequent and dangerous error in corporate communication is the communication cascade. It's kind of like a game of telephone played on a corporate scale. With each layer of management that the message passes through, it's prone to distortion, delay, and reinterpretation. The cascade fallacy creates an information vacuum at the lower levels of the organization, and this vacuum is almost always filled by the grapevine. The solution to the cascade fallacy is to use broad-reach media to create a single source of truth. When a significant change is being announced, Senior leadership should communicate the core message to every single employee simultaneously. Your role as a manager then becomes critically important. After the broad reach communication has occurred, your task is to translate and contextualize that message for your team. This approach, broadcast from the top, dialogue in the team, effectively overcomes the distortion inherent in the traditional cascade model. One of the most influential frameworks is media richness theory. It proposes that communication media can be ranked on a continuum from rich to lean. The core principle of the theory is simple yet powerful. You must match the richness of the medium to the ambiguity of the communication task you're facing. A face-to-face meeting is required because its richness allows for the empathy, nuance, and immediate dialogue needed to navigate the situation successfully. Building upon this, media synchronicity theory distinguishes between the need for conveyance, the efficient transfer of information, and convergence, the collaborative process of building shared understanding. First, use lean asynchronous media for conveyance. Send the report, the proposal, or the data ahead of time. Second, use rich synchronous media for convergence. Schedule a meeting not to present the information, but to discuss it. It's time to synthesize these ideas into a practical step-by-step decision-making model. This framework is honestly a universal tool that a manager can use for any communication task. To effectively evaluate your media options, you need a checklist of critical dimensions. These include the complexity of your message, the need for feedback and interaction, urgency, the need for a permanent record, and finally, the practical constraints of cost and reach against the powerful symbolic value of your choice. Let's apply our framework. Imagine you are a manager, and one of your direct reports, Alex, has been consistently missing deadlines. A lean, asynchronous medium like email would be a disastrous choice. Your well-intentioned feedback could easily be misinterpreted as a cold, formal warning. The framework leads us to a clear conclusion. The richest, most synchronous medium available is the only appropriate choice. This means scheduling a private one-on-one, face-to-face meeting. This choice matches the medium's richness to the message's complexity and sends the right symbolic message of care and confidentiality. Now let's consider a different, larger-scale scenario. Your company is about to implement a new enterprise-wide software system that will change the daily workflows of every employee. There is likely to be excitement from some and, honestly, anxiety or resistance from others. The best approach is to use a broad-reach medium to create a single source of truth. This would involve a company-wide email from the CEO officially announcing the change, combined with a live-streamed all-hands town hall meeting. Immediately after the town hall, every manager should hold a mandatory team meeting. This is the forum for answering detailed, role-specific questions and addressing team-level concerns. This blended approach, using lean media for broad conveyance and rich media for local convergence, is the hallmark of a sophisticated communication strategy. Throughout this journey, we have systematically deconstructed the art and science of choosing the right communication medium. We began by understanding a profound truth from Marshall McLuhan: the medium is the message. We constructed a practical step-by-step decision-making framework. This model compels us to move beyond habit and convenience, forcing a disciplined analysis of our purpose, our audience, and the specific demands of the situation. As you step into your career, you are now equipped not just as a communicator, but as a media strategist. Before you type, before you call, before you schedule a meeting, pause and think. Ask yourself, what am I truly trying to achieve? Who am I speaking to? What message will my choice of medium send, independent of my words? By making this conscious, strategic choice every single time, you will elevate your communication from a simple function to a powerful leadership tool. You will build stronger relationships, navigate challenges more effectively, and ensure your voice and your message is always heard with the clarity and impact it deserves.